What have Charles Darwin and his theory of evolution contributed to humanity? Coming up, the true legacy of Darwinism.
Your morality is whatever you want to make it to be. That's really Darwin's legacy.
Perhaps the most pernicious and destructive manifestation of social Darwinism was in what happened in Nazi Germany.
Ironically, there is no concrete evidence for evolution. I think we can say that quite emphatically. It's more in the minds of men than it is actually, in fact, out there in nature.
We keep hearing about gaps in the theory of evolution. The whole theory is a gap.
Coral Ridge Ministries presents Darwin's Deadly Legacy, a shocking look at the historical impact of the theory of evolution and the shaky scientific ground on which it rests. The acceptance of evolution brought in a totally new way of looking at life on Earth, and especially humankind and our place in the cosmos. As evolution began to be accepted in intellectual circles, one of their own, British philosopher Herbert Spencer coined the phrase survival of the fittest. That phrase caught on as the essence of Darwinism.
With survival of the fittest, it was okay to exploit people. After all, they were weak and they should go by the wayside. It was for the betterment of the race, of the human race, that they should.
Adolf Hitler was clearly trying to speed evolution along, and he wasn't the only one. He was drawing on what many other scholars, biologists, geneticists in Germany were also preaching and teaching in the early 20th century. Natural selection was a guiding idea for Hitler and the Nazis. In fact, if you read just about any books about the Holocaust, you'll come across the word selection, because in the camps that's exactly what they did, and they used the term, and the term was related directly to Darwinian terminology, that when you went to the camps, you went through a selection process. They were selecting this person to survive and this person to go to the gas chambers.
The great lesson of the Holocaust is what happens when man tries to decide who should live and who should die. When man tries to, quote, clean up the gene pool from those viewed as undesirable. To put it simply, no Darwin, no Hitler.
Columbine shooter Eric Harris wrote on his website, "You know what I love? Natural selection. It's the best thing that ever happened to the Earth, getting rid of all the stupid and weak organisms."
If you think that the shedding of human blood by those who embrace evolution ended with the Nazi death camps, think again. As Darwinism becomes more and more accepted in our culture, our young people are becoming both the perpetrators and the victims.
I just started screaming and crying and telling them not to shoot me.
Tuesday, April 20th, 1999. 11:19 a.m. Columbine High School, near Littleton, Colorado, just outside Denver. In a hail of gunfire, 11 students and 1 teacher are killed, and 24 others are wounded before the shooters, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, both students at the school, turn their guns on themselves. It is the deadliest school shooting in U.S. history, in a decade that saw school shootings sharply increase overall.
We're reaping the consequences right now in this culture of generations that have been taken through a public education system and taught a Darwinian view, taught that you can explain life by natural processes, and therefore ultimately your morality is whatever you want to make it to be.
I think Darwinism is popular as a story because it allows atheists not to have to explain why we're here.
Ann Coulter, author of the New York Times #1 book, Godless.
There's no such thing as morality. There's no such thing as our consciousness of our mortality. We're about one step above a porpoise, although many of them seem to believe we're below a porpoise because we have nukes and we pollute and have hate crimes and don't recycle. So we are below a porpoise, but it's just a matter of, it's just random mutation in this bloody battle of survival, which exists no place in the fossil record.